What's up, everyone? We are out here with Summer Dickerson of Women of the Well Ministries on a National Recognition Day for Anti-Sex Trafficking. She has a little bit of a display set up here at the Metro Hall steps and wants to speak a little bit on the topic. So just tell us a little bit about today in general.
So hey everybody, for those that don't know, my name is Summer Dickerson. I am a survivor actually of human trafficking, and I now run a nonprofit organization here in town to help women, men, and children get out of human trafficking. Hey baby, all my friends are stopping by, sorry y'all, I had to wait of them. Anyway, so today is National Anti-Human Trafficking Day. So all across the country in the United States, we are taking a moment to raise awareness about what's going on in our country. People are being sold left and right. And I know that feeling firsthand because I've been auctioned off to the highest bidder. I've been through a lot of things. And so that's why I know it's very important for when women and men and everybody get out of it. It's so important to have a survivor at the table because a survivor can understand things that most people won't. You know, I know you guys probably heard about the Wayfair conspiracy theory that went around. That's not true, and that's why it's so important to have people that are very knowledgeable on how trafficking happens, how grooming happens. So, yay survivors.
Now you've been active in the actual outreach work for many years now. How long have you been active in the outreach side?
So I have been active on the outreach side for 6 years. Come February 18th, it'll be 6 years. As soon as I got out of the life and I started doing just basic outreach stuff, then slowly but surely I got into open a residential home for victims when they come out of a situation because I seen that was a need. So we do outreach on the tracks, which tracks are where people are being sold right here in our city. I do outreach in the clubs, I do outreach and just let people know, hey, I'm here, not to convince them to stop doing their job or what they think is their job or whatever. It's just to let them know, hey, I'm here. If you need somebody that understands it, I'm here. So we'll do outreach, we do the residential home, we also do trainings. So we've trained Humana, we've trained the police department, we've trained hospitals. I've went to the United Nations and spoke on this topic. So we try to bring as much awareness about it as we can because we are number 9 in the United States. Kentucky as a state is. Jefferson County is definitely number 1 or 2 in the state, but yes. Oh yeah, and I do conferences as well. We have a conference coming up in April, probably going to be doing some kind of Zoom call later with a bunch of other survivors. So because we strongly believe when you don't know what you don't know, then you put out false narrative. And that's how the Wayfair and the Pizzagate thing happened. Wayfair is not going to ship a child into a box to you. You're not going to order a pizza and a kid's going to show up. It's actually done through a lot of grooming. It's done through a lot of manipulation, a lot of vulnerability. So yeah.
So basically, it's not the way that the movie Taken portrays every time. Like that does happen, but
right.
In the United States more so, it's through grooming.
Yes. So what we call it in the United States, it's called domestic, right? Domestic trafficking. And so here it's done. Don't get me wrong. Is there situations where people can be kidnapped? Sure, there is. That happens every single day. And we have to know the difference between kidnapping and trafficking, right? Because there is a difference. Not every person that is being kidnapped is being trafficked. Not every person that's been trafficked has been kidnapped. So it's very important to know the differences of things and understand that here in America, 90% of the time, a big white van's not gonna show up. It's gonna be because we've given all of our kids electronics or they have access to electronics, whether it's through school, whether it's through you at home, and we've had children that have been groomed and trafficked off of Fortnite. So, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
I got this Xbox. Do you want to come over and get it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to kidnap your kid. I got one of these. Right. You know what I mean? So what I tell people is, One, how do you solve it? How do you get your kids aware of it? How do you get aware of it? One, get over yourself and have some uncomfortable conversations. Because if you don't have conversations, somebody's going to have conversations with your kid, and then when they're adults, they might end up a client as mine. So, we got to get out of our way and teach our kids, let them know what it is, what it looks like. If somebody's trying to talk to you and you don't know who they are, you know what I mean?
Like it might be difficult to discuss these things with your children.
Most definitely.
It's very important to ensure their safety.
People ask me all the time, what's the youngest age that you could talk to somebody, a child, about this? And I say, well, our youngest victim that we can put on paper has been 2 months old. So here in Kentucky. So there's never too young of an age to sit down and talk to your kids. And if you can't talk to them, invite me over. I'll have a conversation with them. I go to detention centers, I go to group homes, and I tell my story, And my story didn't start out as trafficking. My story started out as molestation, child abuse, rape, which put me in a very vulnerable situation. And then, I got into stripping, and some guy came along and, come on ladies, we've all heard this line. I can do so many things for you. I can fix all your problems. Well, it was that easy for someone to pit me because I was vulnerable and I believed it. I wanted somebody to love me. I didn't know what love was. So that action made me think that they loved me, and really all they did is turn around and sell me.
And use techniques like the abusive significant others use.
Well, domestic,
gaslighting and
yes,
like making you feel like you're worthless. So
yep.
that you feel like you're worthless, so that you need them, right? Like that.
I tell people all the time, there's a lot of similarities in domestic violence and human trafficking. For me, the only difference between human trafficking and domestic violence is the buyer. Because once you put the buyer in play, then it takes it into human trafficking. If it's just a pimp and the chick or whatever, because women also are pimps, by the way, let's make sure people understand that. I think that's a huge misconception. I mean, look at the Maxwell case or Epstein case with the Maxwell chick. So if that hasn't taught us anything, yes, women can be predators as well.
All right, so just aside from the overarching work that you have done, can you give a little detail specifically on the display that we have, the beautiful display we have behind you?
Yeah, so I got this little display set up. Each one of these candles represent a victim that we have lost. And so they have stop trafficking, because obviously we want that. And the picture next to it is actually my sister, Jennifer Kempton, which was a survivor. So we are in the anti-trafficking world. I would be addressed as a survivor leader or a survivor expert, right? And so Jennifer was a survivor leader, and we lost her about 4 or 5 years ago. And so anytime that we have anything to do with awareness, I make sure that I bring her picture, because I think it's important for people to understand we put our lives on the line just to fight this, and I want to teach people the right way instead of victims being shamed, because that happens a lot. We have to break all those stereotypes, because if we don't break those stereotypes, we're going to continue to have victims. And so I get out here and I share my story, and you can pay, I'll come speak at your church, I'll come speak at your business, I'll come train your employees, I'll do whatever you need me to do. I'll come talk to a Bible study, a youth group, anything. But if we don't get a handle on this, we're soon going to be number 8, then number 7, then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You don't want one. So, and we all have a part we can play in this. If you can't physically get out and do the work, you can always donate to our nonprofit, which we have a nonprofit. Our website is www.wowky.org. We got to keep the doors open to the house that we run, because there's not that many places. I think there's like 800, at last count, I think there was like 800 beds in the United States of America specifically for human trafficking victims. And why these homes for human trafficking victims are so important is because you have to break those chains, like of manipulation and grooming and all that kind of stuff. And not only that, but you also have to give them their own space, because our trauma, all trauma is trauma, but when you've been auctioned off and you've been belittled and put in torture chambers or just raped repeatedly, which does happen because people think prostitutes can't get raped. It happens, you know, so you got to have a safe place to where they can heal, and then having somebody that look at you and say, hey, you know those night terrors that you have, I have them as well. You know, those ups and down moments that you have where you doubt yourself, I have those as well. But together we can move forward. So that's really what it's all about loving people where they're at and helping. Not only am I helping them, but they're also helping me. So yeah. Community growth. I mean, it's fine. It's just loving people where they're at and helping them. Like, maybe we could all figure out how to do that. I'm just saying.
Well, it's cold as shit out here, and you've been out here for hours, so I can say that I absolutely appreciate your dedication to educating people on the topic. Are there any quick resources that you could, you know, rattle off, websites, anything like that, for people to get better educated, more information?
Free to Hope does a really good job on their website about educating people. I think it's free, the number 2, hope.org. You can also look up the National Blue Campaign. They'll give you a bunch of information. The trafficking hotline, which I can't remember off the top of my head. Nichelle, help me out. Sorry, y'all, I'm bad with numbers. I know you can text it, be safe, but she's gonna get me the number so I can give it to you guys.
I'll make sure to get it posted.
Yeah, it's like 1-888-773, something like that. Sorry, y'all, I forgot. TBI from human trafficking, it happens. So again, this is, you know, and also, if anybody wants to get out there and do the work, I just wanna make sure I say this. If you want to start an organization or you want to get into this movement of fighting anti-human trafficking, whatever you do, please make sure you have a survivor around you to where you could be checking with them. Put them in a power position. Bring them onto your board. And you know, if you're out there and you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, you have any resources that you possibly can help with our survivors. We have a tattoo artist here locally in town. I want to give them a shout out, Stay Gold. They help us cover our brands up, so women get branded by pimps all the time.
And tattoo therapy is a real thing as well.
Tattoo therapy is a very real thing, hence why I got 60 tattoos, just saying, at last count. But also when a woman gets branded, a pimp can put their symbol, and so for those that don't know what branding is, sometimes what happens is pimps will put a symbol on them, so when they're in the clubs or they're on the tracks, other pimps know who they belong to. So when women or men get out of the life, we'll take them to Stay Gold Tattoo and they'll actually help cover up the brand for free. So if you're a dentist and you can help out with women because sometimes they get beat up, they lose their teeth, you can help them make their smile beautiful. If you're a salon and you can make the survivors, give them a spa day, you know what I mean? Like anything you can do, your gift, we can use it, you know what I mean? And it's all about building the community up. And I will hit these streets every single day, not only because I have children in the city, but because all of us in the city matter and all of us have to stay safe. And so I'm here all day to stop this. It is, the trafficking hotline is 1-888-373. What is it? 7888. So there you go. I knew I wasn't that far off, so I'm doing good. I got most of it memorized. Shit. Man, I did have it at one point, but you know.
All right, so lastly, to close out again, thank you for your time, but just one more time, go ahead and give your contact information for Women of the Well. Women of the Well. So that's, you know, if anyone does need to contact you to do any type of educational seminars or wants to donate, you know, we make sure that they get in contact.
Yep, so you can contact me at, I have a phone number, which is 502, this is a public number, so 502-498-6018. You can email me at summerdickerson79@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, which is www.wowky.org. Also, you can go on Facebook to our Women of the Well ministry. And what you can do right now, since it is Awareness Day, and I mean, it would be nice, we do have a fundraiser going on right now, and it's on Facebook, and you can go right there and donate. And those proceeds will go to help women in our residential home, plus the women that are still out on the streets. So
thank you again for your dedication and everything that you do. Any final things?
Nope, just stay safe. And again, parents, stop thinking your kids don't know what's going on in this world, because they do. Start having conversations with them so they don't end up being a client of mine. Deuces.